Right, welcome to Northampton Maths and Economics tutorial website. In fact, my channel, YouTube channel, and today we're going to learn about price discrimination and the first video about the price discrimination done by firms to maximize their revenue. So first thing we've got to do today is what is price discrimination? So what I've got is a screen capture. As you can see, the one adult ticket is £9.88, and the two children's are £15.26, which is roughly about £7.50 plus 13, £7.63. So the child fare is less than the adult, though it's going to cost the company where we saw or the theater where we saw the movie the same price because it's the same chair, but they're pricing it differently for the child and the adult. And then there's a premium unlimited ticket for £0, which is a sort of a promotion, so it's different, but it is not price discrimination. And then you've got the total bill. So what do we understand by price discrimination?
Is it when different people have different elasticities? So firms charge different
Is
prices.
when firms, yes, are charging different prices to different customers, not based on their costing, because the cost for the tickets is the same for literally whether it's a child or an adult on that same seat, but what they've done is they're charging different customers different prices, not based on their own costing. However, we've got to be careful, so just not to be careful not to confuse price discrimination with promotional pricing. And if only I can type better today. Yep. So there are certain conditions that should be met, not assumptions, let's say conditions that should be met for a firm to successfully price discriminate. So first thing is it should be able to segment the customers. The firm should be able to segment its customers based on income. So if people have varying income, could be geography, what else could be age as well. What we saw earlier on was cinema separating different customers based on age, so the two prices for the children and for the adults were different, but that was based on age.
Some old age pensioners on like buses and stuff as well.
Yes, you're right. Time and OAPs. So, etc. Let me make that bold. Underline it. To be able to have a different pricing structure, customers should have varying price elasticities. So for a firm to be able to charge, different prices from its customers means that customers should have varying price elasticities. So let me try and put an example in. So no, elasticities. Insert. So what I have is a world map over here, and normally what we say is if I draw this red line, I know I'm putting Australia as well over there, but we normally talk about northern hemisphere and southern hemisphere, and we normally say The PED in the northern hemisphere is inelastic. Why? Because people have high income, so they can afford to pay high prices. On the other hand, we look at southern hemisphere and we talk about PED being inelastic. And it's in case of a generalization. Okay? So, varying price elasticities. Okay. Preventing market arbitrage. What would that be? Preventing market arbitrage. So what we have is, if I turn this line on this map, and if I was to buy, let's say, a pair of sports shoes, Nike sports shoes, what do you think would be the price in this quadrant as compared to over here in this quadrant? Where do you think it would be more expensive?
European countries.
Yeah. So Nike shoes. Whoops. Let's get rid of that. And let's put that one. Pink. Yes, let's put pink. So yes, you're saying Nike shoes would be more expensive in Europe. And let's type it in. Expensive in Europe. And the same shoe, what do you think would be in Asia? Would it be expensive or cheaper?
Cheaper.
Why do you think it's expensive in Europe and cheaper in Asia?
Is it because the tariffs would be more expensive?
Tariffs could be one thing, but what about the incomes?
It would be the fact that because the incomes of people in the Western world are higher than those in the Eastern world, on average, then they can afford to
be charged higher, isn't it?
Yeah,
pay for this.
They can get away with it.
Yeah. So, as a customer, what should one do then?
As a customer?
Yes. As a customer, what should one do? Buy from the Asian markets and then sell them over here in the Western markets.
Yeah.
So buy from East and sell them over there and make a little profit. But if they're making a little profit, then what happens? Will the firm be able to charge different prices in the two markets?
No.
So that is one thing. So the firm should be able to control customers from being able to buy in cheaper markets and selling them
similar to buying tickets, isn't it?
yes, if you buy tickets in off-peak and then try and use them in the peak time, so firms won't be able to charge two different prices, would they? So the firms need to be able to control that. So the firm should be able to control customers from being able to buy in cheaper market and selling them in expensive for a profit, and they shouldn't allow that to happen. We happy with all of this? Right. So trying to understand how it works between the two different markets when they're using different prices. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a graph, to illustrate that. So I'm going to have market A, market B, and then I'm going to have one market where both A and B are combined. So this is market A. This is market B. And let's say the third diagram is to show both market A and B combined, where the firm would use only one pricing strategy. Let's say market A is your Western economy. What sort of a demand curve is it going to have? Elastic or inelastic?
Inelastic.
Inelastic, because they have a high income. Yep. So an inelastic curve, we can write that down over here. PET is less than 1 due to income. That's the average revenue curve. Let's join that over here. And let me label them as well. Pound sign. And what do we have normally on the x-axis?
Quantity.
Quantity, yes. Okay. And we have our MR curve, which is falling twice as fast as the AR curve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I can then put both the curves in market B, but this time we're looking at in terms of off-peak market or the Asian economy, where PET, will that be greater than 1 or less than 1?
Greater than.
Yes, you're right, it'll be greater than 1
Elastic.
due to lower income. Yes, elastic. Okay, just move it out of the way over there. And what we'll do is we'll draw.
Might be a higher income.
Yes, you could say that's due to high income. Or higher, right? And we have, let's say, the MR curve. Okay. And then obviously we have a combined market, which is going to have an elastic curve. And what they're doing is they're treating the whole world as one. So it's the combined market. Okay. And what we'll do is we will draw our supply curve. Right, we've got the three markets. We've got our demand curves or the AR curves and the supply curve. Right. Now, we know the firm produces where it profit maximizes. And where does it profit maximizes?
Where MC equals MR.
Where MC equals MR. So to draw those two curves, right, where MC equals MR, just put that over there as a reminder. Let's do it over here. it's gonna produce over here. Nope, that's the one. And let's take this to the combined market price, where the firm will charge the price right. What you've asked me is you don't understand this combined market and why this would be elastic for the whole world, because of if you look at the number of people in that category with lower income as compared to people with high income, who do you think is going to outnumber? Lower income. So if you're trying to appeal to all of them, which market are you going to go for? If it's a mass market product, what sort of price would you use?
Lower income. Ones.
Does that make sense? So if you are aiming for a mass market product, you're not going to put a ridiculously high price. Why? Because then you're actually putting a lot of people out of that reach. That's why we have a downward sloping demand curve.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my only thing is this one should have been probably higher than in price from here. So what we can do is we can move that over there just to make it look far better. Yeah. So this price should be in the middle of the high price and probably more towards
the lower end.
The lower end, yeah. Joys of using PowerPoint. Alright, there we are, PQ. So what we are saying is, let's say these are your S&P rectangular shape. So that's A, or what I can do is no. B, C. So when the firm is uses two different prices in market A and B, the S&P of A plus B, do you think it's equal to C, greater than C, or lower than C from what we are seeing on the diagrams? If you look at the area of rectangle A, area of rectangle B, and area of rectangle C, if I said A plus B, is that greater than C or less than C?
It's greater.
Greater than C. So that is why firms should price discriminate if they want to have higher S&P. But then there are clearly winners and losers when the firm does price discrimination. And on the next slide, we will discuss that. So let's bring this up. Let's say winners and losers. Or advantages and disadvantages.
Yeah.
If the firm has a higher profit, is that good news or bad news?
Good news.
And why would that be good news?
It would be good news because it means that if they are earning high profits, and they can put that, then you can use the high profits and put it back into the product, into research and development.
To do research and development, absolutely. Research.
Hopefully they don't retain the profits.
So high profits is good as it allows firms to research and development for better products, especially in pharmaceutical companies.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. What you said, as long as they're not paying it out in dividends, and especially in pharmaceutical companies. And bonuses for the directors.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you think is the advantage of price discrimination? What about the poor people?
For the poor people, it means that they get, well, if we're looking at the diagram, which is for the whole thing, because more people are poor,
yes,
they can charge
lower prices.
Yeah, low prices. So it means that they're allowed into the market basically.
So they're being more subsidized, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the have-nots, or it allows poor people to consume economic goods, price out of the market, as the rich people or the have people and that's another key word for you, cross-subsidize. Let's talk about some disadvantages then. What do you think could be the two disadvantages? If we go back to the diagram, looking at that, do you think,
considering the firm are earning a high amount of profits, they could give them as dividends?
Well, we've discussed that over there.
Yeah.
Do you think they're productively efficient?
No. So they'd
Right.
be productively and allocatively inefficient. Yes.
They're not productively efficient as they are not producing at the lowest point of Aristotle cost curve, or ATC. Let's put that in brackets. Do you think they're allocatively efficient?
No.
They're not allocatively efficient as they may be overproducing. Why? Because it's being cross-subsidized by the rich people. So what's happening to the finite resources? Are we in danger of finishing them off early?
Yes.
So they're not allocatively efficient as they may be overproducing, and the finite resources
Be diminishing.
in danger of being because of this cross-subsidy. I think two each is a good advantages and disadvantages. Any questions?
No.
If you've enjoyed this video, as I've always said, it takes 2 to 3 hours of making, editing and uploading. I'll appreciate if you click the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.